up. Maybe they took it off a Game Pass or something. I don't know. But I'll bring up Star Trek Online then. Just definitely need something chill because I've been up all night. Star Trek Online's pretty chill. My apologies for the delay. Like I said it would just be a second, and of course, I launched it, kept trying to launch it, and it was like I said that I wasn't signed in or didn't have it, and I was like, okay, it's Game Pass. They took it off of Game Pass. But yeah, let's play some Star Trek Online, shall we? It's been so long. Since I've launched up Star Trek Online. I'm sure there's been a ton of updates.
The shuttle to Saturn will leave in 0830 hours.
Alright. Just gotta remember how I did everything on here. It's been that long. Skills that haven't been upgraded. Been away for too long.
The long-range sensor arrays in the trailer system went offline recently. Last thing they picked up before that happened was a Borg scout ship. I'm heading to Trailus now to investigate. If this is the beginning of a new Borg incursion, I could use some backup. Meet me there as soon as you can. Until next time.
Oh, okay. Her voice sounded all far away for a second, and then when I accepted the mission, she's super loud. Alright then. It's funny, the last game had B as the run button, so I'm like meleeing this guy when I'm trying to run. Little adjustment there. Okay. Hey, Kim Carr. Hope you're still having an awesome night / morning. Still a little warm in here from earlier. Trying to cool down.
Security team, report to Talking Base 6.
My fiance is gonna throw a bucket of water on me in a second. Bucket of cold water.
Holodeck time could be
There we go. Can't believe I forgot how to return the ship. It's been that long. I still remember playing this when it was in beta on the PC years ago, before it even came to Xbox One. I'm totally fine with it too. In fact, I would prefer it. I quite like that. I quite enjoy the attention. Meow. Lots of ships out. Lots and lots of ships. list of quests. Meow. Okay, so what mission do I have set as my active then? I've got multiple ones, that's what's kind of confusing. I'm glad, because I'm like half asleep here. I'm trying to make sure I know what to do on this game. It's been so long. There we go. That's what I need to do. Oh yeah? Awesome. Yeah, I still check in, like, for WrestleMania, and I still try to keep up with some of the pay-per-views, but I don't watch it regularly like I used to. Just never have the time. I'm always reading and streaming. Well, now streaming again. I know for a while there, I was just mostly reading. I love my audible books. Primary mission, travel, auto-navigate. There we go. Just like riding a bike, it's all coming back to me now. It's on SmackDown. You know, those are the only shows that I've ever been to where I live. SmackDown is the only one that's ever come here. I think Raw came here once, but I didn't go then, so I've only ever been to SmackDown shows. Which is fine. I got to shake hands with Tori Wilson, Billy Gunn, Hardcore Holly. This is all back in like 2005, 2006. Sadly, Rey Mysterio went up the other side of where the people were in the front row on either side, so I didn't get to shake hands with him. And Rob Van Dam, I wanted to shake his hand so bad, but he shook my sister's hand and skipped me. I was like, no, RVD, how could you? Like, when I would play with my wrestling figures, he was always undefeated because I liked him the most. And then after that, he was defeated. He got his first ever loss. I'm silly.
I see you're doing well.
Undertaker is dying. No. I was one of the people that, like, nearly cried when he lost his streak. I was, I was like, no, how could you? And to Brock Lesnar of all people. Ugh. Okay, so I hailed that Ferengi ship, and then suddenly...
I see you're doing well for yourself these days. Well enough that you can cover service access on your own. I think our ledger's balanced out nicely. Drop by my bar in Deep Space Nine sometime. I'll give you a drink discount. Or something. For old time's sake.
Sorry to hear that. I know his knees have been bad for a long time, though. They had a video of him using some type of cryogenics to help his knees, just so that he could wrestle. Or mean, that's crazy. I mean, your knee's frozen. I don't even know what the hell therapeutic value that has, but yeah, Undertaker's been through a lot for sure. He's wrestled a lot of years. Even going back to the 80s with the mirror match versus the other Undertaker. Which was kind of silly, but I liked it. Well, yeah, it was brother and kayfabe, but they're not really brothers, but yeah. Yeah, I still couldn't get used to Kane being mayor. Like, I saw that on CNN one day, and I was like, what? I was like, Kane is the mayor? It's weird how many wrestlers get involved in politics, like Jesse Ventura and Jerry Lawler. And of course, Linda McMahon. Wasn't exactly a wrestler, but she's close enough to it that she certainly slapped her daughter enough times during the Attitude Era to count, right? The Attitude Era was special. Why is it flying me directly into this, like as part of the as part of the auto travel? That sounds like that would be a bad idea. Fly me directly into it. I've never seen any Alien versus Predator movies. I have seen the actual Alien movies and Predator movies. I liked the first Predator. The second one was kind of confusing. I don't know, I'll have to give it another shot sometime. I guess it's just hard to compete with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura and all those people in one movie. As for Alien, I loved all the Alien movies, even the third one, which is so weird. But I always thought it was weird that with the third Alien movie, they don't have any guns. That's the idea. That's supposed to be what makes it scary. They don't have guns. But then when they released video games for it, that was the thing. You had guns. You had every kind of gun in the world. I always thought that was a little ironic. The whole idea was that it was like a prison in space, and they don't have guns. Why would they put guns in the video game? I mean, I get it. It was the Genesis era, so they couldn't really do stealthy or, I don't know, games that were different. Oh, interesting. I liked the Aliens vs. Predator one they had during the 360 era. That was pretty fun, because you could play as the Marines or the Predator or the Aliens, and you go online, and each one had their own little benefits to playing as them. I liked the multiplayer of that a lot. I know that it gets bad press because it's AI and single player was kind of lame, but it had good multiplayer. And of course, it was infamous that if they're Alien vs. Predator or Alien Colonial Marines, one of those was the one that was affected simply by, was it a semicolon or a slash or something like that? It was just a simple character that caused the whole AI to be broken. Just one character. There's a YouTube video about it. Online. It's pretty interesting. But I loved Alien vs. Predator. I thought it was pretty fun. I liked the SNES one too, and the arcade one. Never read the comic. Of which it was based on, kind of like RoboCop versus Terminator was based on a comic. All those were based on comics. Pretty much any face-off between two icons. Freddy versus Jason, etc.
Thanks for coming. Spotting a Borg scout here made a lot of people nervous, with good reason. So, some old friends called in a favor, and here I am. I came here looking for Borg, but the real problem turned out to be sabotage. Orion smugglers fouled up the long-range array, but they left the short-range sensors intact. I have plenty of evidence from the sensor logs to turn over to Alliance officials. Still a concern. If they're sizing up this quadrant as an incursion zone, we need to know about it. I have a few ideas on upgrading the sensor arrays, making them harder to disable and better at spotting Borg. Beam me over and we can sort out the details.
Okay. That's where they're welcome back. Yeah, I liked WrestleMania 36. I still haven't seen all the second half yet. We were in the middle of that when it came time to do my stream. So I decided to watch the rest of the second part later.
With your
So I try to
assistance,
stream
I
at
can
1
complete
a.m. to
modifications
2 a.m.
quickly.
every night. Usually 1 a.m. Big fan of the feed.
Good. Now that we have a working array, our next step will be initiating the new security protocols. Hold on. Are you seeing this? The long-range sensors just lit up like a Dabo table, reading a massive energy surge. We're being scanned. Something's
Sorry, I didn't mean to skip your dialogue, 7. 7 looked like she put on a few pounds, actually. Didn't want to say anything, because I didn't want to hurt 7's feelings.
Oh, that was unpleasant. Still, there are no damage reports, no casualties. Scanning. This is unexpected.
Yeah, I think Xena was more enjoyable back then when you'd have the little raps
According
you
to
would use
astrometrics,
against
we
people.
were catapulted
Pretty
several
entertaining.
hundred light years from Trailus to the Excalibur system. Here's some facts to go along with those legends. In the 23rd century, Excalbians abducted the USS Enterprise and subjected some of her crew to a series of combats. Some sort of morality test. Feels that way to me. I doubt they dragged us all the way out here to have a Ractogino and talk about baseball. There's one way to find out for sure: hail them and see what they want. I can boost the signal once the ship is in a standard orbit. Assuming the Excalbians are in a talking mood, we should have answers soon.
Right? But yeah, I liked his theme song back then better
We are
too. The
receiving
one
your
he actually
signal.
sang. That was
On
better.
behalf of the Excalbian people, I bid you welcome. Yes, I suppose that would be a bit of a surprise. You'll pardon me for that, I hope.
I guess he sings this new one too.
Some
Anyway,
time
I prefer
ago,
the old
I
one.
met and fought beside one of your own, Captain James Kirk. Under the circumstances, we felt seeing a familiar face would make this meeting go a little smoother. That is a complicated matter, I'm afraid. I think it would be easier to discuss it face to face. We prepared a meeting ground on the surface of Excalibur. It meets your needs for atmosphere and climate, as I understand them. Will you join us there?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree about being better than AJ Styles, definitely. They were both very talented, but what Chris Benoit did kind of ruined his legacy, obviously. Not just kind of, but, you know. But that's just, I guess that goes into the question of whether or not the brain damage he had excuses his actions, which is more philosophical than I could go into. Of course, I guess the Star Trek stream is actually perfect for philosophical questions. Yeah, I remember having the Chris Benoit Hard Knocks DVD back in the day and stuff like that, and I loved his theme song, which Our Lady Peace won't even play in concert anymore because it's tied to Chris
Welcome,
Benoit and
friends.
because he murdered his whole
I do
family.
hope the local climate is to your liking.
Climate's fine. It's our abduction that we have a problem with, friend.
My apologies. It was not an action of my choosing, I can assure you.
I don't know, I can't say for sure, but there were no signs of anybody else being in the house from what I heard from the police report, and that sounds pretty
Greater than conversations with dead
concrete.
presidents.
Long ago, the two of us were
But the
involved
legacy
in
that
a
left behind,
study.
they don't do chair shots to the head anymore, you know, because of that.
Concepts, good and evil. The initial results were ultimately inconclusive.
The debate has continued
Which is a
since
good
that
thing.
time.
We now seek a final resolution.
What does that have to do with
Caused
us?
some serious brain damage back in
You
the
have
day.
been chosen as advocates for the concept of good.
But you will not face it alone.
Hello. Looks like we have a lot of work to do here.
That's putting it mildly.
And Guerrero, yeah, he had just gotten really popular, just won the title and all that before he died. Both of them died right at the peak of their careers because Benoit was about to win a title too.
I will attempt to clarify our intentions. In this trial, you will be accompanied by associates that we have created for you. You will confront a variety of situations in opposition to evil forces. Your actions will be judged, as will those of your opponents. The prevailing concept will guide us as a people. We shall pursue the virtues of good, or the vices of evil. We find violent conflicts produce pure examples of good and evil. They provide the best results to evaluate and judge.
Yeah, those local shows, they can be pretty good actually, those little house shows. But yeah, rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero. They could be a great place to meet the wrestlers, because you can get front row seats to house shows for cheap.
Will be seen as your endorsement of the supremacy
Sorry
of
for that
evil.
mild burp.
The trial will then conclude with
Too
a
much
judgment
Canada
in
Dry.
favor of evil, and our subsequent pursuit of the concept as a guiding principle. The trial awaits you. Proceed through the portal behind me when you are prepared.
I think we need to be cautious when dealing with the Excalbians. They're a lot like Q, minus a sense of humor. Fashion sense could use a little work, too. For now, I say we play their game and stay in one piece. Look for opportunities to swing things in our favor. Our new teammate here might have some insight into the situation as well.
Michael Burnham, of the USS Discovery. Judging by your uniforms, I'd say I'm in the future. The last thing I remember was preparing for battle with my crew, and the crew of the Enterprise. Since we're having this discussion, I'm guessing we won that fight. My apologies, my memory's a bit fuzzy. Possibly a side effect of whatever brought me here. Over 150 years. Fascinating. Right. I'll catch up later. Assuming we get through this trial in one piece. To address your original question, I wish I had all the answers, but I know as much as you do. Going through this trial will give us the chance to conduct some tests of our own, learn more about them and the situation here.
Take heart, my friends. Yarnik has a forceful personality, but his voice is not the only one heard here. There are many Excalbians who would embrace virtues before vices.
Every time I see Abraham Lincoln, I think I'm playing Civilization for a second. Like, wait, what's going
Well
on?
said. And as one of your allies here, I have a warning for you. The trials are drawn from your past experiences and records, but they will not be identical recreations. There will be alterations to test your responses and those of your opponents. Expect the unexpected. Please accompany me.
Yeah, I remember that when Eddie Guerrero died, Kim Carr. And thank you so much for the follow, I am Harris Pilton. That is super awesome. It's super appreciated. Welcome to my Twitch fam.
Beyond that portal, the first
Having an
trial
awesome
awaits.
day.
Good luck, my
Not,
friends.
I hope it gets a little
My
more awesome
tricorder's showing a
soon.
Class M tropical biome. By the look of things, this world is under attack. I'm reading a lot of weapons fired from several locations in the area.
This is a safe position for now, but that could change soon. We need to get to cover fast. I see a plaza ahead. And casualties. Enemy forces may be in the area.
This didn't happen long ago. Some of the bodies are still warm. When did this take place, originally? I don't recognize the uniforms on these Vulcans. Romulans? You're serious? Those are Romulans. This is a lot to take in. The Romulans are... I clearly have a lot of catching up to do. But the middle of a war zone isn't an ideal place for a history lesson.
These Romulans are Tal Shiar, members of a covert military intelligence force. Their list of enemies is long. Any number of them could be responsible for this attack.
Awesome. I remember the first time I saw Undertaker live. Some guy stood up on his chair and held up a sign, so I didn't really get to see much of it, but it was still nice knowing he was there. I had a big sign blocking my way. Oh wow.
This one was killed by heavy plasma weaponry. Strange. I'm also reading trace amounts of several exotic particles in the area. Antiproton, tachyon. Whoever else was in this fight used some extremely advanced weapons.
Makes sense. The Iconians were allies of the Tal Shiar at this time. They were probably fighting at their side. This may be one of the unexpected changes Lincoln warned us about. Iconians arriving here early.
Some kind of construct.
Speaking of WWE and Star Trek,
Antiproton weapons.
I remember when Voyager did the little tie-ins and they had The Rock on there. Because UPN was where Voyager aired, and that was where SmackDown aired, so they had a little tie-in. They had occasionally put wrestlers on there. I believe Big Show was in an episode as well. Voyager.
Those were Iconians.
Heralds are augmented servants of the Iconians. They were used primarily as shock troops. We've encountered them before, but if they're here now, things are worse than expected. There's a tactical force field blocking our way. That looks like the emitter over there. Should be simple enough to destroy it.
Seen RBD live. I don't think I've seen CM Punk live. Sadly. Well, you know, aside from live on TV, which doesn't count. Gotta find the force field in a minute. Sorry if I seem a little distracted. I've been up a long time. Surprised I'm still awake. I'll just shoot at random things, like when I was playing Ghostbusters. Then I'll find the force field. Ah, that won't work here.
LCR and Harold's fighting Reman combat squads. Wonderful.
So, it's Reman. They're on our side. Let's go.
RBD's a cool guy, for sure. Ladder matches are always fun.
You there! I would speak with you.
They kind of play on the natural human fear of ladders in general. At least I get nervous climbing up ladders.
Your timing is fortuitous. I am Obasek of the Riemann Resistance. I fight against the Tal Shiar for the freedom of my people. Our quarry, Colonel Hakiv of the Tal Shiar, has called for the aid of the Iconians and means to turn the galaxy over to them. He must be stopped. The lab is not far from here. If we can fight our way past the guards, we can put an end to all this, and Hakiv. Simulation? I assure you, this is all very real. My people are fighting and dying for their freedom against a powerful enemy. Hakiv must be stopped, or the Iconians will bring death to our entire galaxy. Now tell me, will you help us?
Yeah, when you have to climb them, you have to climb them, but it's definitely nerve-wracking. Especially if nobody's there holding it in place and it's unstable.
Looks
It's
like
one of
there's
those
another
attic
tactical force
ladders, it's
blocking the
old.
way. This Hakeem really doesn't want to be interrupted, does he?
It may not be in an obvious place. Check the nearby buildings and rooftops.
Okay, I need to start running. Sorry for walking. Sorry for the slow walk. It's been too long. Last time I played this, it was on Mixer. That says anything. I used to play this on Mixer as kind of an aside from my Twitch streams. And I wouldn't watch it on Mixer. I didn't watch me play this on Mixer. Now Mixer's going down. I decided to carry it over here. That was a long time ago when I was doing Mixer, because it was before I got affiliated on Twitch.
Excellent. Hakeem has hold
Okay,
of the south
that
like the cornered
happened
vermin he is.
out of nowhere.
Once we're near his position, I can set up a jamming field to prevent him from beaming out. Then we can bring him to justice. At last.
You might be able to block transporters overstuck, but I doubt you can block a functional Iconian gate. As long as that remains open, the key will be able to escape. Deal with the gate first, then you can talk about justice.
I mean, that was convenient. They just popped out of nowhere and just like, okay, quest progression. why not? Sorry, I've been up for too long. Okay, I'm not following the AI because they're following me. And I'm up for too long. Oh yeah, I've run button in this. Just using the Ghostbusters run button. There you go, that'll wake me up. More flirting. You're very sweet. Very, very sweet.
Ambush! Look out!
Here we go. Waste it. That's very sweet. Sorry if I'm playing very badly right now. I'll probably need to go to bed soon. Probably in the next 20 minutes or so. Quite obvious that I'm half asleep. Oh, I thought I vanished for a second there when I popped back up. Did I step on my own mind or something? Yeah, I've definitely been up for too long. Didn't even mean to set that down. I need to move my broadcast part. I said, what is my character doing? What was... That was some type of dance maneuver. Just flailing my arms all around, all weird like that. I don't know what that was. I think she was still recovering from her death from earlier, and the game was still showing that. I was just all flaily. It's wacky, waving, inflatable arms, girl. You're super sweet, Kim Carr. I'm exploring. Let's see where the next force field generator is. Oh, yeah. We're not socks, but you got me all warm and fuzzy. feel like in my tired state, I am not going to be able to solve whatever I need to do here. I have run around. And I could probably run around for another 20 minutes. Probably not run into where I need to go. So, I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Thanks so much for hanging out, for the bits, the follows, the subs. Most importantly of all, for hanging out and being super awesome. And Kim Carr, thanks so much for all the flirting. I look forward to seeing you again next stream. Life without me is like a broken pencil, pointless. Make sure to join my Discord if you haven't already, so that way you can talk to me even when I'm off stream. And I will be back on technically later today because it's, yeah, it's morning now. I've been up all night. So I will be back on later today. Have a good night, everyone. And I will talk to you all soon.